All right, man.
All right, brother.
What's going on?
Well, just here. Decided to, walk with you here. Got a couple more days here, but glad I got some time alone with you.
Yeah.
And it's just been quite a roller coaster here, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of crazy, man, with all the National Guards and it's just been crazy. They're tear gassing us and it's just crazy here in Baltimore right now. You know what I mean? And hopefully things will get better. You know, but sometimes they get worse before they do. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's like I said earlier in a lot of my interviews, it's not all bad cops. You know what I mean? All of the cops are not bad. There are some good cops. And they categorize us and they put us in this one apple spoils the whole bunch, but it's the same thing. It's a two-way street. You know what I mean? For the officers. You know, one bad officer makes another good officer look bad. You know what I'm saying?
Have you been treated with respect by the police? Some of them?
Some of them, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What have they done for you?
Well, look, man, I just recently was locked up for something, and they actually made sure that I was strapped in a seatbelt, but this is after the Freddie Gray incident.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They made sure I was strapped in a seatbelt. They made sure that I didn't need any medical attention or that I wasn't hurt in any way. And I mean, that's really helpful. You know what I'm saying? I respect that a lot.
And so would you say this is how people are supposed to be treated, not pre-Freddie Gray or any of this before the madness, but always, right?
Yeah. It's not something that should happen after a tragedy. You know what I mean? Like, it should happen. This type of thing is something that we need desperately in these type of communities where police brutality is so prevalent, and we need someone to step up. You know what I mean? To get the footage of these guys doing their dirt. You know, because they took an oath to protect us.
What does an oath mean to you?
An oath means to me that you vow, you give your word, you know, and by word I mean you give, when I say you give your word, I mean you absolutely believe in everything that you're swearing upon, you know, to protect your community, to serve and protect and keep them out of harm's way and not to beat them up, you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't go with the oath, you know what I'm saying? And all of these lies and cover-ups, it's ridiculous, man. You know, just why can't people just tell the truth? Because, I mean, it hurts, but in the end, it'll make it better. You know what I'm saying? It'll always make it better if you just come out and tell us the truth. If Stephanie Rawlins would have just locked these guys up from the beginning, there would have been no rioting or I mean, I wouldn't say protesting, but it wouldn't be as rough as it is right now because we were going to march regardless. You know what I mean? But the fact that these guys were on paid vacation, like they were on a vacation, paid leave, you know what I mean? So we kind of felt hurt by that, you know what I'm saying? And we wished a lot of bad things on the government behind that, but at the same time, we don't understand a lot of things, you know what I mean? And people fear what they don't understand, you know? So with that being said, sometimes we just have to enlighten ourselves as far as our rights, you know, because we have rights, and one of those rights state that we can record officers and what they do, you know what I mean? As long as we're not obstructing any investigation or, you know, making them feel threatened, that it's okay, it's perfectly fine to film these guys and let them know that we're watching, you know what I mean? So that's how I feel about the police. I believe that we should have more Copwatch, you know what I mean? And we do have a lot of Copwatch here, you know what I'm saying? We've been Copwatching, we just haven't had cameras, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And prior to all this happening, did you know your rights?
Well, I mean, of course I know my rights. I live this every day. So when I'm approached by police and they don't Mirandize me and things like that, I'm like, well, damn, man, what happened to letting me know that I do have rights? Even if I do know them, it's your job to make sure and reassure me that I do know them. You know what I'm saying? And these guys don't do that here. They don't Mirandize you.
So they pretty much do whatever they want to, or at least prior to Freddie Gray,
Yeah.
it was kind of like, well, we're just going to do our job the way we want to.
Yeah.
Regardless of what anybody says, we don't have to seatbelt them in. We can beat the shit out of them. We can do whatever. We can frame
man,
them.
and they get away with it, dude. That's the worst part about it is African Americans. You know what I mean? That's taking it out on other African Americans. You know what I mean? Like these cops are black.
Right.
You know, and they're
3 of them were black that are involved in this case.
exactly my point. You know what I'm saying?
So what does that say? Does that say that they've been brainwashed like the white man, or
That says
they've
that
forgotten where they're from?
That says that you're desperately selling your soul for money. You know what I mean? Money is the root of all evil. But how true can that be? Sometimes I say greed can be the root of all evil. You know, when a person is too greedy, man, they're willing to do anything. And as far as the police department, man, these guys sell their souls for bucks, and you could have killed one of your family members not knowing that you were related to them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so we continue down these streets, and yeah, you see a lot of blight here, and things, you know, just poverty and desperation. It seems. You know, poverty, desperation. I mean.
Well, we're hurting, dude. We need a lot of help, a lot of things that need to be changed around here. But it doesn't seem like it's happening fast enough for the people. And one thing that I am ashamed to admit is that we don't have any patience for ignorance or like we want things done when we want them done. And that's one of our biggest downfalls, you know, as a humanity. We don't have patience for the government and fighting them the proper way. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes the proper way to fight the government, it might take a little bit of time, but hey, man, that's what you got to do to get justice, and then we got to do that. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, when justice doesn't prevail, which it doesn't seem too often, you know what I mean? The people don't know who to trust.
Right.
You know,
and that was the problem yesterday, right?
Yeah.
This big old incident happened, and right away people jumped to the conclusion that there was in fact an officer-involved shooting.
Right.
And the police got really aggressive. They started pepper spraying people.
Yeah.
But the people were very angry. They were very extremely upset because they don't know that the police were actually telling the truth.
Right. Well, when do we ever know that the police are telling the truth? You know what I mean? So that's why we're always aggressive and so evasive when it comes to talking or having an actual conversation with the police. It's like you have to play chess instead of checkers.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because these guys out here, man, they are masterminds at fucking us up and getting away with it. You know what I mean? They have perfected the art of whipping our ass and
covering it up,
eluding the fucking consequences. You know what I'm saying?
You talked to CNN yesterday, is that correct?
Yeah.
And you mentioned a guy by the name of Joe Crystal. Who is Joe Crystal?
Joe Crystal is the guy. He's an African American. He was a commissioner. And,
no, I'm talking about Joe Crystal, the police officer.
Oh,
the whistleblower.
Yeah. They shunned that man. He was a police officer. Yeah, and he
white guy too.
Yeah, white guy. He witnessed murder or brutality from a police officer.
It was brutality, yes.
And man, he really like fessed up to it and fought for what was right. You know, he was actually one of the good cops that were doing their job. You know what I'm saying? And they shunned this guy. They threw a dead rat on his car simply because he told on the police that did the brutality.
Right.
You know
one of his supervisors actually told him blood in, blood out.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a such thing as a code of silence.
Right.
And when he broke that code of silence, it's like, man, they just threw him under the bus. You know what I mean? They completely shunned him, and he's scared to come out now to even walk in the community because he's afraid for his life, dude. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be like that because you witnessed something wrong and you're an officer. This is your job. This is the thing that you swore your oath to, and you did that. You know what I'm saying? And these guys are like hating him for that.
Right, and a lot of the people too, they've just given up on the police. They're like, this country will be better without the police. I mean, that sounds kind of crazy,
Well,
maybe.
yeah,
but
that's a little extreme.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because at some point in time, we are going to need them for protection. And it might be hard to admit that, but it is. It's the truth. You know what I mean? We're going to need these guys because at the end of the day, they're trained for this. You know what I mean? They're trained well, they're supposed to protect the community, but we see that these are the same guys that they're trained by professional military personnel, and they come out and use these tactics on civilians that have no way of defending themselves against a trained militant person. You know what I mean? These guys are trained in close quarters combat, hand-to-hand combat. All we know is street fight. You know what I'm saying? So when you come out and you use these tactics, these professional tactics that you use over in wars in different countries, you know what I'm saying? What are we supposed to do to defend ourselves against that? Cameras.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Cameras is the best thing that we have going right now.
And cameras has been the game changer within law enforcement. It's kind of like the cross equates to the vampires.
Yeah.
And, you know, you bring out the camera, they're like, oh, no, you know, they develop this paranoia, this fear.
Well,
but even still, what we notice is that they still continue to do things even though they're still being filmed. Right.
Well,
and that's
because they know that they know that they can cover it up. They have higher ups in the government that can actually how could I put this? Give them help in covering things up. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but when I say it's a lot of people in the higher ups that cover these things up, and it's simply because of an image. You know what I mean? Because they want to try to uphold this image that they're so great and they protect the community, but that's not the truth. You know what I mean? And in fact, they're hurting the community by giving us these ultimatums. You know what I mean? It's either our way or the highway. And I mean, man, this is our community. We live here every day. These officers, they go home and to their nice big homes out in the counties or to different states, and we're stuck. We're stuck in poverty and we're stuck oppressed.
Wow. Well, go ahead and go on in. I'll wait for you out here. I'm going to shoot a little bit of video.
Okay.
So, okay.
Well, actually, don't film these guys because they're kind of like paranoid about
All right,
the
no
camera.
problem, no problem.
So, yeah, kind of like chill. Yeah, we have to go to another store. I'm actually at work right now.
Oh, okay.
So we yeah, man. If you want to get a shot there, look at that.
Wow.
That.
And what? How long has this been like this for? Ever since?
Been like this forever, man. They've been tore this shit down. Like this is the worst. This is a whole block of vacant.
And then you know what I noticed is they have the nerve to call a lot of these people. Like yesterday, for example, during that melee, where there was a misunderstanding by the police or by Fox TV or whatever, they gave out some erroneous information that someone had been shot, almost causing another riot.
Right.
But I mean, this is why they use the word animals or thugs to describe.
But look at where we are.
Right.
Look at what we have. Look at all of the vacant houses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a whole fucking block, dude. You have maybe 3 or 4 houses that are actually occupied. You know what I mean? And then you have this big open field that's pretty much, man, anything could be over there. You know what I mean? And they call us animals and thugs, but this is what we have. This is what we have to adapt to. You know what I mean? This is all we know. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it feels like I've been caged for so long that maybe I shouldn't be outdoors. You know what I mean? Because these guys, man, they're crazy, dude. They will literally tear you down economically. You know what I mean? Like, they put you in a position where you have to need them.
The system, are you talking
yeah,
about?
the system, the actual system. Yeah, they put you.
The government.
Like the government. They have these programs where you can get money and food stamps, and that's because we have no jobs. You know, if you give us jobs, then we don't need you anymore. You know what I mean?
But you've been able to survive. You're very articulate, and you have a family, you have children, you support your kids.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're there for them. I mean, how have you been able to make it in a world where, I guess, the majority of these children they don't have fathers?
Because I'm a pure survivalist. I do this. I've said it 100 times. I am straight from the mud. You know what I mean? And I mean that. I'm really from like the grimy part of the city where it goes down and it's prevalent and it happens. And I have to be very protective and sometimes overprotective. I have 2 sisters, a mom, you know what I mean? I have a host of aunts.
Where's your dad?
My dad is in my life. I've had my dad, man, Kevin Moore Sr., you know what I mean? So big ups to him because my parents raised me. This is why I'm so intellectual and articulate, you know what I mean? Because they raised me that way. They've shown me how cruel the world can be, and they pretty much branded in my brain that if I don't stand for something, dude, I'll fall for anything. You know what I mean?
It's deep.
And really, it's the cold, hard truth. You know what I mean? This world is not pretty. And I've been out on my own since I was 18. You know what I mean? I'm almost 30.
Have you seen people get killed out here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. But I mean, I won't talk about that. But of course, I see murders and walk past the field and you see a dead body laying, or
oh my gosh,
you know what I mean? It's so.
It's like Boys in the Hood.
Yeah, you hear gunshots and dude, we're not running, we're partying, that shit is like fucking firecrackers, or I mean, we
you
can
become accustomed to it.
Hear an explosion and not be affected at all.
Would you say that's probably a symptom of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder?
Yeah, because we're
You're like really immune to that now.
In a war zone.
You're in a war zone.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, yeah, hell yeah, we suffer from PTSD, you know? Every now and again, I might have to take a Xanax bar because I have an anxiety attack. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
It's bad, you know what I mean? And I mean, it'll get better. I know it will, because it always does. It's always worse before it gets better, but we're gonna have to get some answers, dude, and we're gonna have to get them now. You know what I mean? We can't keep constantly letting these people that they say are here to protect us trample all over our civil rights and like we don't have a constitutional right. You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous. We don't have amendments anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it's deeper than life. You know what I mean? And I have children, and it hurts me to think that my children might have to be raised here. And this, when I'm dead and gone, you know what I mean? My children have to be here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want my children to have to fight the same fight that I fought for in their coming years. You know what I'm saying? Like when they come up, I don't want them to have to worry about anything. You know what I mean? I want them to be able to walk down the street and not worry about a police hurting them or possibly killing them. You know, and I said this plenty of times, dude, if I have to die for my children to live free, I'm a dead motherfucker.
So am I. And just as we continue here, are we gonna walk here?
Yeah.
As we're walking, this has been the roller coaster ride of your life, right?
Yeah, man.
Of being in the national spotlight as being the last person to have filmed Freddie Gray alive.
Yeah.
Tell me what that was like. I mean, watching that happen and not knowing what was gonna happen, and
it's very hurtful. You know what I mean? Anytime you see anyone being harmed, it's very hurtful. You know what I mean? But when it's one of your own, it just hits home so hard. You know what I mean? And I never knew that I was actually pulling for him to make it through. You know what I mean? I was man, don't think like that. Because people were like, man, well, he's in a coma and this, that, and the third. I'm like, dude, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? My man gonna pull through this shit, And I was behind him 120%. But at the end, he ended up passing away, and oh man, we were devastated. We were devastated by it, and we still are. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we know that it's bigger than Freddie Gray. You know what I mean? In the sense that this has been going on for so long, You know what I mean? And Freddie Gray was number 111 African Americans that were killed in Baltimore from 2010 up until now. You know what I mean? So that's a high number.
Right.
You know what I mean? For any life. You know what I mean? For any human beings. They say that white men are killed more by police than black people. I don't believe that. You know what I mean? Because then they have this category they call unknown race. Who do you think the unknown race is? You know what I mean? Like they have African American, they have Caucasian, they have Asian, they have all these different nationalities, and the percentages of the nationalities that are being killed by police, and it seems like they're trying to put us last, but then they have this category of unknown race. Dude, that's us. You know what I'm saying? Like you can put unknown race and African American, the percentages together. That is us. They don't want to say that because it makes them look bad in the press.
Right, and in fact, the FBI themselves have never maintained a federal database of the amount of people who are killed by the police.
Right.
Did you know that?
Yeah, man.
I mean, that is shocking. I mean, they have all these different statistics on crimes, but on the value of a life, it doesn't seem to be a big issue. I mean, my understanding is they're trying to change that now, but
yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to do with the whole Copwatch thing. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to educate my community, and the fact that they do have rights to film these guys if they feel like something is happening or going down wrong or something that shouldn't be happening is happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be afraid of these guys just because they wear a gun and a badge, and you know, they're very intimidating just by the attire that they wear. You know what I'm saying? They have full body armor, and I mean, dude, we're out here in t-shirts and sweatpants. You know what I'm saying? You have full body armor. You have assault rifles, shotguns, helmets, and it's just ridiculous, dude. Are we in Afghanistan? Are we in one of these war zones, these third world countries that are we ISIS, the crazy Taliban terrorist group? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what they treat us like.
right, wow.
You know, so hey, man, that's why I'm so that's why I'm still here, because I know how to survive. I know how to protect my family. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very humble, you know, and I believe in God. You know, I pray about a lot of things, you know, and some things I don't understand. So naturally, I'm afraid of it, but we got to keep moving forward. You know what I mean? We got to keep going. We got to keep fighting a good fight. We got to keep our foot, so to speak, on the government's neck, because, dude, they're not going to let up. You know what I'm saying? And if we let up, they're just going to sweep it under the rug, just like everything else.
Well, I mean, I'm just in awe by listening to you talk, and I'm sure that the people that are going to be watching this here are feeling the same here. You talked about the fear of the police.
Yeah.
You were actually taken into custody.
Oh, yeah.
Shortly after Freddie was killed. Was that the same day or a day after?
Well, no, it was actually a couple of days after, and we were at a protest in Pennsylvania, and I was with some brothers from Ferguson, and I had on my anarchy mask, my anonymous mask.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And the police saw that. And as soon as they saw that, like, dude, as soon as we made the right to get off of Pennsylvania Avenue, they were right on us. You know what I'm saying?
And you think it's the anonymous mask
I
that
think
did that?
that it was the anonymous mask that did that actually caused them to hop on us, but they wait purposely until we get away from the protection, the love, the protesters, the community, to try to mess with us, to try to fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? We're in a block where it's no lights, it's just us and the police. They have 2 choppers, they have like a mini tank. They had, like I said,
on you?
Yeah, all of this on us from me and my guys, friends from Ferguson.
They had Chad, right?
Yeah, Chad Jackson and Talal Ahmad. Right. Yeah, they had us, man. It looked like we were terrorists, dude.
Did you feel like a terrorist?
That's what I felt like, you know. But I had my camera rolling, and they had the camera in my face just about as much as I had it in their face. You know what I'm saying? So what reason do you have to record me? You know what I mean? What am I doing wrong that you have to record? I'm not a police killer. You know what I'm saying? So what is it that I'm doing that you guys have to shove a camera in my face? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the bad guy.
Right.
And no, I didn't have any charge papers. They never gave me any documents or citations or anything like that.
How long did they keep you for?
Well, they had me down there for about two hours and some change, you know what I'm saying? But they never questioned me about the Freddie Gray incident, you know what I'm saying? I knew they knew by the looks that I got from these people. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they had that camera so far in my face, I knew they knew who I was.
Mm-hmm. And so they just targeted you, is what you're saying, for no real reason.
They completely targeted me for absolutely no reason, dude. I don't believe for a second that they had any reason to mess with us. They saw the mask and they saw the Missouri plates, and they were like, dude, these guys are outsiders and they're rioters and they doing everything in their power to try to fuck up our city. Dude, Ferguson came here to put us up on this camera game to let us know that we actually can film the police and that we actually do have rights. You know what I'm saying? These guys that I've been with from Ferguson, they never did any rioting or looting. You know what I'm saying? They called my boy Chad a terrorist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that's pretty irresponsible?
Fuck yeah, to call somebody a terrorist?
Right. It kind of puts them in a shoot-on-sight type scenario.
I mean, dog, the word terrorist implies that you are a threat to the United States of America. That's what that word means.
Right.
You know, and to label a person that been through the things that Chad's been through, you know what I'm saying? He come from